I saw like a switch, like a toggle switch being switched, but in a very, you know, think of it like an instrument panel with a switch very solidly snapping into place.
What kind of switch?
Like a metal, just a metal lever, little switch that you'd flip to turn something on or off.
Oh,
I saw it being flipped. It was almost, but it was like it was. I saw it. Well, I saw it like it was. It was on a. It was pointing down. So it was like it was on an instrument panel that was
yes.
horizontal. The switch was just. I don't know how else to describe it, but that it was very solidly switched.
Okay.
Earlier in the meeting, I kind of got some glimpses of, seemed like a very close-up view of a man climbing or ascending a mountain. And I kind of had the perspective of basically looking diagonally from up on top of the mountain, seeing this man ascend the mountain, and in the vision I could tell that it was really close up on his hands and his feet, grabbing and pulling himself upward. It was kind of highlighted in that vision particularly. And then, not too long ago, while we were praying for my dad, I was seeing, in really not much detail, unfortunately, but an image of like a white rowboat that was gently flowing in, I guess, what seemed a lake, because there wasn't very much action in the water, but I don't really know much of what that symbolized, because there wasn't really much that happened in that vision, but I just saw that white rowboat there, and I think that's all I saw.
I saw, before you said that, brother, that there was a building, it was a foundation, there was a building that was clearly being built. You saw the steel girders. There was a foundation, it was a devil's work, it was being built, and all of a sudden I saw two hands come into the frame, and it absolutely ripped the foundation right out like a tablecloth, as normal, you've seen that, ripped out from right underneath this structure, and the girders were disheveled, and it didn't fall, but it was clear that with that foundation being ripped out, that it was severely compromised and would eventually just crash to the ground.
That's the word. I saw a man walking through a wheat field, a vast wheat field, running his hands along the wheat, and it was almost as if it was perhaps the farmer or the overseer of the land, taking, like, seeing the field and taking note of where the crops were, and in preparation for a time of harvest, but walking out into the field and among the wheat to assess where things were.
Bless the Lord. Elaine, you have to be called upon. Go ahead. So, have you had anything today?
I just saw, I don't know the significance, but I saw the image of like one of those overhead extinguishers, like that sets out a fire. I saw one be turned on and forcefully start.
To put out the fire in the sense.
Yeah, extinguishing.
Well, the Lord being silly telling me I'm going through another set of bad in the fire in the past few days. You think about death is always bad in the fire, am I right? So on different levels. So I'm telling you, the Lord literally told me I went through hell. So I didn't see vision per se. I just, the power of death and the hell is a thing that I have overcome. So and today is my day of coming out. Can you believe that? So yeah. Yeah, that's Nicole's vision. Remember that? You saw vision me wrapped in death clouds. It's
Hmm.
all been fulfilled in the past week, I'm telling you. So,
Well,
is that amazing?
I saw I saw a mountain on fire.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
that was really it.
Mm.
But I could see the flames rising off from the bottom to the very top.
I saw you. Actually, first I saw a pair of goats, and one goat was if I was facing it, it was on my left, and it was eating this black cloth that was hanging. It reminded me of those things on Lord of the Rings, those black things. I don't know what those are called.
Mm-hmm. A ring wraith.
Yeah, so it was eating black cloth like that because it was sort of hanging in the air. Anyway, and the other goat was sort of standing next to it, and then you were standing on the other side of that goat. So two goats, one black on the left, and then on the right of it, it was standing there eating, and you were on the other side of the goat. I don't know if that makes sense. So you had something in your hand. It was small and white, and you showed it to this goat. And then what was in the goat's mouth was a white cloth. And when you showed him, let's see, you had the square white thing in your right hand. And when you showed the goat this thing in your white hand, with your left hand, you pulled out the cloth out of the goat's mouth. And you shook it out. And you sort of held it up and looked at it, and then held it up sort of to yourself to signify that it was to be worn, like it was I don't know what they wore back then. Was it a cloak? Was it, I don't know what those little outfits are. The white, what is that?
Robe.
Yeah, okay. That was a simple word to remember. Robe. Sorry. White robe. So actually, the first person I saw come up and receive this robe was actually Andrew. He came up and you put it up to him, and then you help him put it on, and he walked away. And this continued to go on, where you would show the goat this white thing, and then you would remove a white robe from the goat's mouth, shake it out, and put it on, even like smaller children, all kinds of people. So this was happening. And then after that, you put on a priest's
Garment.
I'm so sorry that I don't know all these biblical words. I feel like that's like super wrong of me. The thing with the jewels on it.
That is turban. Ephod.
That's right.
Ephod.
Excuse me for not remembering that. You put that thing on and you wore it. And I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. And then I saw you in a robe, a white robe, and you had this thing on. I forgot how to pronounce it. Ephod, I don't know. Okay, you had that on. And then over your shoulders, you had this blanket. Both of your hands held one on each side. And inside this blanket were all these stones. And you could see that people were putting the stones in there as you're pulling it. So it's very, very heavy for you. You begin to pull this blanket on the ground, and as you pull it, it's being on left and right. People are putting their stones into it, and it's just very heavy. But you have every intention to carry it. It's not that you were supposed to put it down in any way. You're supposed to be carrying it. So you have both hands holding each side over your shoulder. Your left hand and right hand over your shoulder, pulling this sheet full of these stones, a pile of them. And then you begin, excuse me?
What kind of stones?
They just, I don't know, they seem like little round stones, like rock.
Oh,
like chiseled rock, like a chiseled stone.
okay. What color?
Not smooth. It's not smooth. It's a round rock. Some of them are smaller. Some of them are bigger.
Okay. Are they precious stones or just normal stone?
No, they're not precious. They're just regular rocks that sort of are. They are round, but they're all sort of just. They look chiseled up. Like each person comes and they bring the stone of different sizes, and they're not nice stones. They're just hard rocks.
Okay, yeah.
So you begin to ascend the mountain of God. And I could see him in his glory at the very top. And I can see you, and you're walking up this mountain with this huge sheet of rocks or stones. And the Lord comes down and he meets you. And I've seen this for Soon before as well, and now I'm seeing it for you. He pulls off your priestly robe and your priestly garments, and then he puts a crown and a royal robe on you. And you're bowed before him at this point. You're bowing before him, and he puts this crown on you, and he adorns you with a royal robe. And he speaks with you. And then you sort of bundle up this cloth that you had, this blanket, into like a sack, and you're able to carry it. And you put it on your back. You still have it. The Lord didn't take it. But you're able to carry it fully now, and you carry it. You turn from the Lord, you've spoken with the Lord, and you turn and you descend back down the hill, and you've got this bag now over one shoulder, and it's not as heavy to you. You're able to carry it over your shoulder, and you walk down to the bottom of the mountain, and the people are still there waiting for you. And this time you have this power, I suppose, and you're putting your hand on people as you walk, and you're speaking over things and over people. And there's lines and lines and lines of people. They're off to the right, and they're just waiting for you. And that is all that I thought.